Hi, it's Joy Bishop here with our latest project, and I wanted to take this opportunity to show you exactly what a small budget seller prep and staging can do for your home. So in this house, we spent a total of $3,000 on materials, about $700 in paint, $1,200 in flooring, and then we had light fixtures and just little odds and ends. So you really can make a massive difference on pretty much any budget. So this is part of what I do with my listing service is seller prep. Whether you decide to handle it or you hand it over to me and my crew does it, we are able to sell this home for $65,000 more because we spent $3,000 in seller prep. This room in particular is a garage conversion. At some point in time, they enclosed the garage and turned it into a family room. This probably is one of our largest transformations, and there are a few reasons why. Number one, it's got fresh paint. It was dark in here before with dark brown paneling, and the ceiling, it was dark. So paint, number one. Number two is we switched out the carpet for some very neutral grayish carpeting. And then the biggest thing, and it doesn't cost you anything, is our brains crave symmetry. So when you walked into this room, you have this elongated window here, and then we have this window here, but it was much lower. Simply by hanging a blind higher to the same height as the other window and then softening it with window coverings, suddenly we have more symmetry. So when you walk into the room, you may not notice what is different, but you don't immediately go, something is off. So that is a $0 staging trick, is just to make sure that the visual sight line of your window treatments is the same. This space has received a large transformation too. Right here, we had a giant wood stove that sort of projected out into this room. And the previous owner, or the sellers, used it to heat this space and loved the smell of a fire. But it really obstructed the view and made this feel a lot less open. So we removed the wood stove, patched in the ceiling, patched in the roof, and just painted this dining area so it has a little bit of visual interest. This space could be used for so many things. If you don't want to have, dining room space and you just want an eat-in, a kitchen eat-in table over here, this, because it's open to one another, has just created so much more living space for how the modern family functions. In this area, these are some really subtle differences, but they make massive impact. So if you remember in the before pictures, we had several different types of flooring and they were different colors. And then this dining area was about 3/4 of an inch lower than the rest. And so visually you have all of these breaks and it makes the space feel so much smaller. So we brought the level of the floor up in this dining space, and then we replaced the flooring. This is just sheet vinyl. It's 88 cents a square foot, I should say. And a lot of times sellers will say to me, well, I don't want to spend the money on flooring because somebody is just going to replace it. And you're right, they probably will. But what this does is connects the spaces. It gives it more flow. It feels more open, and there's nothing that anyone has to do to move into this space. They can live with it. From this point on, it would be considered a preference versus a need. So it's no longer a fixer-upper, it's a blank slate. Notice that all the flooring is in the same color Pantone too. We have sheet vinyl, we have wood floors, and we have carpet, but they're all in that same grayish tone, and that makes the space feel bigger. And in the kitchen, we really didn't do a lot aside from paint. So all of this was here. There were some blank, they were just raw wood door panels, and then the doors on the upper cabinets were out in the garage. So it all just received a fresh coat of paint, and the doors went back on. And again, that takes it from being a fixer-upper to a blank slate. The bathroom, this is another like micro budget remodel, not even a remodel, a refresh. What I want to tell you guys is so many times sellers will say, well, I have to gut the bathroom and that's going to be a major expense. And no, you don't have to gut the bathroom. What we need to do is figure out what to update, what to freshen up so that it all feels refreshed. So this wood was already here, but it was dry and dusty. So it just needed to be deep cleaned and then oiled to give the wood some life again. And because I didn't want to focus on the yellow and orange tones, I painted the vanity and the built-in cabinets on this side a bluish gray, and so it kind of offsets the yellow in the wood, and suddenly instead of looking like 1970 it looks like 2024. This room is another one that received a big makeover. As far as work that was done, it was really just paint and flooring and a new light fixture, but we changed the function of it. So this door had been closed off before, and there's a second entrance into the home out front. And so when you drive up, it's a little bit confusing, like where do I go, what do I do? So we opened up this door and then we painted the exterior, that bluish gray that we've used throughout the home, to make that more of a focal point, like this is where you go to come into the house. And then the other door, we painted the same color as the body of the house so that it sort of blends in. Still functional, but your visual focus is now this front door. So we turned this into a cozy little sitting room, and you can get lots of people in this room. If you wanted this to be your family room, you could, or you could turn it back into a bedroom. There is a decent sized closet and you could hang a door back on that. So that's how we chose to feature it. And I think it turned out really cute. Tiny space, big makeover. So this is another no cost tip, whether you're living in your home or staging it for resale. When you have small space, the only thing that you can do is really take advantage of the vertical space. So you hang your curtains all the way up to the ceiling so that your eye is drawn up, and suddenly it feels larger than what it is. This is still a small room. There's nothing we can do about that, but we did keep the color palette extremely neutral in here just to let it breathe and feel as large as possible. If you remember, this one is really shocking. This was a wood shop. So there was a little workbench here and there was pegboard all the way around and rubber mat flooring. And the owner used it as a little wood shop. But it is indeed a bedroom, and whoever buys it will probably use it as such. And so closet here, really what we did in here was take everything out and then give it a fresh coat of paint, mount our curtains towards the ceiling to take advantage of the vertical space, and just bring in furnishings so people could see how you'd live in this space. Okay, this is what I would consider the primary bedroom in this home. It's the largest room by far. This one, again, was mainly paint and just, we took all of the old furniture out and hung curtains towards the ceiling, take advantage of the vertical space, fresh coat of paint, and then brought in neutral furnishings. But now you can see how large this room is. You can fit a king size bed. I didn't opt to show it that way so that people could see how much space is in here, but it's a good size room.